At the beginning of 7th grade, I refused to take it any longer and would not go back to that school. I began to fake illness to avoid the living hell, but that didn't work for long, though, and as my depression worsened, I eventually became suicidal. And I no longer attend the public schools in my town because of the bullying I experienced.
I did not have any idea that John was being bullied until he came home from school one day, his freshman year, and just collapsed on the floor in front of me and simply said, "Mom, I don't want to live anymore."
But the worst, as my mom said, was when I was in high school in 9th grade. I had been cutting myself for several years at that point. And I was just, at that point, I wanted to numb all the pain. I just didn't want to feel anything. And one day, I came home from school, and I took a kitchen knife and held it to my wrists. And I almost killed myself. But I didn't.
Walked into my health class, and the topic was drugs and alcohol. And she went on to talk about how being gay is a genetic defect. She then asked me in front of the entire class if I had come out of the closet. I then explained to her that I had not, but apparently, now that she had asked me, that I was. Or I hope that by this bill being passed, that teachers, as my sister said, can be educated just as much as the kids. Because even though I had harassment from the kids, it was worse from the teachers and the administration.
And I'm playing, and I just feel this jostling by my back. And then I find myself with a guy holding my arms, and then a guy holding my legs, and they're taking me to the tub to dunk me. We get into that closet area, and I manage to get out. And I'm screaming, and I run out of the room. But standing in the band room, looking in the closet, was my band teacher. And he was just right there. And I blew right past him, and nothing really ever happened.
There was a lot of it still goes on, there's a lot of hallway problems. As I'm walking down the hallway, people come up to me and say that I was going to hell, or walking down the hallway holding hands with my girlfriend, and people asking if they could, get in on it, or some guys coming up to me and telling me that if I gave them a chance, they could make me straight. And the worst part is there are teachers standing outside of their classrooms in the hallways and not doing anything about it.
I dread going to school every morning. I'm so scared that maybe one day I won't come back home. And then I'll leave my mom all alone. And I don't have anybody else but her and me. And that's my biggest fear. I get followed home all the time. I get prank calls to my house. I get followed in school, getting called fags. Faggotron, faggot, you queer. I get called anorexic, I get called bitch, I get called insignificant names that I don't feel that I need to be called.
I remember I had a teacher, a math teacher, and he was always very cruel to me. One day, I don't really remember what I did to make him angry at me, but he told me, "I can't stand to look at your face, you're despicable. You have to sit in the corner." And at the time, there was like a bookshelf. Let's say this is a classroom, and there's a bookshelf, and I had to sit behind the bookshelf because he couldn't look at my face. And I never told anybody that because I was scared.
My son doesn't leave the house. He has no friends. He's very, very severely depressed. He couldn't even go trick-or-treating on Halloween because he was scared that he was going to be attacked. He doesn't want to go to school. He fears to go to school every day. And I fear for my son to go to school every day because I don't know how he's going to come home. I am not only up here today speaking for my son, but I'm speaking for all the other children that don't have a voice.